Today is going to look a little different. I'm going to show you a little behind the scenes in my life, what I do to keep myself sane, and also talk about why successful women are not feeling burnout. We call it burnout, but that's not what it is, and what it actually is, what you're actually feeling. Because you can have everything, all the things on the outside, everything you prayed for, but for some reason, nothing feels right still. We don't know what it is. So we're going to get into that a little bit later in this video. But first, I just want to talk about a few things. Okay, when I rise every day, I rise and receive the day. Now, of course, I'm human. I have to remind myself of this. But this is a practice that I do and I started to implement. This is a belief that I have, is that when we rise every day, we should be receiving the day. When you receive a gift, what do? You're supposed to be like happy, smiling, say thank you, right? So these are the same things that I do when I rise, because I'm receiving the opportunity of the day. It's another chance. I have breath in my lungs. So treating it in that way, when I look at life in that way, it changes my perspective on whatever comes and whatever has happened in the past as well. Not always easy, of course, simple, not easy, but it is a way to change how I see the world, how I see obstacles, how I see whatever happens, and how I'm feeling right now. Okay, I rose. Now I have this day to kind of work through whatever is happening and figure it out, because I do have another day. And everything that has happened up until now is not just for nothing either. So I want to also, hopefully by the end of this video, give you some encouragement. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling burned out, or like something's not working right, and you're not quite sure what it is. Okay, so just stick with me, all right? But one of the things that I do is find a quick win. Find a quick win. This is going to give you kind of that dopamine, right? Instead of scrolling, because we want to get away from that, because that's temporary. You actually feel worse afterwards. Kind of like alcohol. Like you feel good while you're doing it, and then afterwards you're like, what did I do? What was that for? Or I spent that money. Like my body just doesn't feel right. Okay, so it's kind of like the same thing, and it's so much behind it, digital scrolling and that type of a thing right now that I'm not going to get into again, but we need to get away from that as much as we can and just have awareness behind it, not to fear it and things like that, but awareness behind it. And one of the things to get dopamine from other areas is to get wins. What are your wins? So one is to fix my bed. I don't need to do something crazy and all this. Some of you may, but I just make sure, the sheets are pulled back, the comforter's up, pillow's in its right spot. Okay, right when I get out of bed, it's just an automatic response at this point now. Okay, that's a quick win. I can see my bed is made. We can make the excuse, I'm going to get back in the bed later. Why does it matter? But it matters because you matter, right? You matter. You should feel that way. So it matters because you're giving yourself a win for the day. This starts your day off on a good foot, right? And so that's one of the first wins that I do. Another one is just hygiene, going, instead of looking in the mirror and trying to pick out every little thing and all of this, and then like going down a spiral and being stuck in that loop. I'm just there for the routine, okay? Just getting the things done, make sure I hit what I need to hit, and then we move on, okay? We're not going to just dwell on whatever it is that's starting to come up. Now, if something is starting to come up, you need to write that down. When is it coming up? What is coming up? Because if it's when you go look in the mirror, then we know that that's an area of a soft point, a trigger point, if you will. And we're going to look a little deeper into that eventually. Like we'll get to that point. But something in that is triggering you, right? Looking at yourself in the mirror triggers these thoughts. It doesn't mean that you are those things. It doesn't mean that what you're saying yourself is true, or that the mirror is triggering you per se. What it is a habit. It's a behavioral loop. You've done that so many times in your past that you're just used to it. That's it. So we need to break the loop. And that's what I do on this channel. So subscribe if you're new here, okay? And I'll talk to you about how we can break that loop. But one of the things, if you want real quick, in the mirror, writing some things on the mirror, putting certain pictures up there, choosing new words to use on yourself. Better self-talk, okay? But I'm going to not stay there too long. We're going to keep moving. So another win we can do is what I just did. If there were dishes in the sink, go ahead and wash those and get those out of the way. We could have done it the night before. so that when we wake up, it's already done, it feels clean and all. But if we didn't, that's okay. Even if we just did a few of them, because that chops down on how many, because if it feels overwhelming, it's too much to do everything at one time, we can just do a little at a time. Go ahead and do a few of them, especially the ones that you're not going to use immediately that same day, because if you do, then you're just putting them back in the sink, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do the big pots or pans or whatever big items to get those out of the way, and it cuts down on what's in the sink. So it makes me feel like it's not as much, not overwhelming, so I can come back later in the day or maybe midday and then later at the day to really get it all done and get it clean, and then that's another win, right? Okay, another thing is, again, we can do some of these the night before, which is a great idea, but like prepping your food, like getting your lunch ready, or at least getting something situated for me. And this is what triggered me to record this and kind of to start this is we just had an event this last weekend, and there's leftover bottles. I know, plastic, this and that. We have a lot of plastics inside of us. Okay, choose your battle right now. We're not going to overwhelm ourselves on anything and everything to fear at one time. Okay, the world does that enough for us, right? We need to treat ourselves right. So I'm giving myself grace. Yes, it's in plastic. It's okay. Obviously, I have plenty of other bottles. I don't know if you can see this in the shot to use. This morning, I'm going to use this to romanticize my life, right? Sometimes we need to do that. So instead of just drinking out of the bottle, here we go. Thanks to my sister on that. But this is leftovers. It's just going to be sitting around. We're going to use them anyway. So I grabbed a few of them. And what I'm going to do every night before bed, I'm going to do this, is my salt. Okay. Instead of electrolyte package, which I like, Liquid IV. Some people talk down on that because, you know, testing and all this. So there's some other brand that may be even better than that, but whatever. I like the sugar-free of them. This, simple. Costs like $8 for this bag, and this will last forever. Like, not forever, but it'll last you, depending on the person and the family and all that. It'll last for a while. At least like 6 months for me. Could last like a year probably. I don't know. Because all I do is a pinch of it. All right. And then, you know, I'll just open the bottle. I'm not going to do it right now. Well, I guess I could, because I could use it tonight. So here we go. Let's scoot this back. Boom. This is what you use. And basically this is going to give you the minerals to replenish your body, because a lot of us are depleted. All right. When you get your labs done, they're going to say, oh, you're deficient in these areas and such and such. So this is one way to do it. Instead of buying electrolyte packets and stuff, you can buy you a bag of this. All right. So I just did a pinch inside of there. I mean, this is, you know, eyeballing. This just works for me. Showing you some examples of what you can do without overthinking a lot of things. Okay, so this is one way to get hydrated, because sometimes we're just drinking water out the bottle and we're thinking we're drinking a lot and nothing's working. Well, you're not absorbing the minerals that you need. So this is one way to do it. All right, so I'm just gonna put the top on there, and then I will take this to bed with me. When I wake up, I chug the rest of it, whatever, you know, I only sip a little bit before the bed, or if I wake up or something for whatever reason, and then I'll chug this in the morning. The reason why I do that is really just for my morning routine. When I rise, to get this in, quick hydration first thing in the morning. Look, I'm not saying I know everything about this. This just works for me right now to get the habit of drinking this hydration for the start of my day. This is a quick win for me. I'll have to look into it more to make sure the time of the day is best for me, and this and that. But this is just for a habit to develop and to start off. This is what works for me right now. Okay, so I have a few of those. I'm going to start doing that until I get in the habit of my hydration, which a couple days in, now I just filled up my 1 liter bottle, and I'm going to finish this for the day. So this is now the next step to it. I've been getting hydration in. At a certain point, you don't need to keep doing the salt and stuff. You only do it when you need it. And when you get like headaches and things like that, you feel like you're being dehydrated, look at your pee. Okay, way too much yellow. We need to hydrate. And then got this, because at the end of the day too, a lot of times we ignore those things. You saw the pee, you felt the headache. You're like, why is this happening? Oh my God. Well, you probably haven't eaten. A lot of you, I know, because you just go, and you forget, and you put that on the back burner because it's not a priority to you, which is kind of insane, because that's going to keep you going. That's going to sustain your life, give you energy. Okay, we're not going to go too deep into that, but then there's the quality of the foods, because if you say, oh, when I eat, I get tired, well, there's a lot of things to that. There's a lot of levels to that: insulin, types of food, quality of food, times that you eat, and that type of thing. But Either way, though, what are your priorities? You know, we need to treat yourselves right. You've given to so many people. You've been the strong friend. You've been the hard worker. You know, you got the promotion. You got the house, the car, the things, everything you prayed for and been wanting to manifest, you have. But you're not satisfied. Okay? And then at that point, we're so in our head that we are not treating the outer things with respect either, because we were trying to think ourselves out of the situation. You know, you go to the therapy, we journal, like I'm doing the things, I'm doing all of it, but I still just don't feel right. And I've talked about this before, that at one point when I was like fasting and doing different things, I was standing here like just looking for something to eat. And it was like, that's when a realization of like that void that we feel. We want to feel, F-I-L-L, this void. But what it is we want to F-E-E-L something. We want to feel something. And so we're going to try and use things to feel something because we feel numb or we don't know what it is. And so you just want to feel something even for a moment. This is why I'm talking about these quick wins, because this is going to give you the chemicals to feel something. All right, I'm going to go a little deeper here once I finish in here. But there's a few things, like I said, that I do, like the water. I already have that done because I did it the night before, so that's a win. Making my bed, looking in the mirror, talking to myself nicely, doing the hygiene thing. I have now treated myself with respect starting the day. I've poured into myself. I don't need anybody else to do that. Anybody else that does, it's extra, it's added. I'm not expecting it for someone else either, okay, because I'm going to treat myself right. And that means I'm going to then hold standards. So those who are not, you know, we're going to make cuts and do what we need to do and set boundaries and have conversations at that point. But, you know, you treat yourself right first. Then I have my stack over here. I guess I could turn y'all to show you a little bit of stuff over here. So I got my stack of supplements, and I got a little of that for gut, leaky gut, and also helps with recovery too. And I've been slacking on that. I have some in here from when I traveled. And I also have salt in here from when I traveled, salt in the top and L-glutamine in the bottom. And I had a funnel so I can pour it into bottles on the go. This is my supplements on the go as well. I love this little thing. It helps so much. I just write whenever I put something new in there, whatever was on the bottle. And these peel off easy. That one just for some reason didn't come all the way off and I just left it. But I'm going to take me some of that oregano oil now. Made my own turmeric and ginger. At a certain point when I'm not traveling and stuff, it's easier and better to go ahead and buy in bulk. Like I said, that big thing of salt, I got a big thing of turmeric and a big thing of ginger, and you know, you got your black pepper, and I put it into the capsule, or actually mix them together, and then I put it into the capsule maker and make my own capsules at that point. Eventually I make some other capsules and things like that, but I'm still on the move and things, so you know, it's just changing. So I haven't been able to really sit down and plan and all that. So I want to try a few different mixtures of my own and all that eventually. You see, I got like dishes. I have stuff here that could be put away for me. I would love to put it away because that's just clutter, mental clutter. Even if you don't think it is, you visually see it in your mind is absorbing all the information because it's more information to absorb. So it's taking up space in my mental capacity, even if I think that or not, it is. So that's another thing, is our environment. Okay, if nothing's working, all this, do what you can, control what you can, which is clean. Put some things away. Start to organize. We're not going to overwhelm ourselves. Like I said, we're going to chip away a little at a time. We're going to do the bigger things to kind of cut down on what it is a little at a time. Okay, make a timeline. Every week, I'm going to start to chip away at this one room, whatever. Donate things. Get rid of some stuff. Look at it. I mean, do you want it to keep collecting dust? Does it make you happy? The whole, is it bringing me joy thing? You know, whatever for you is in your environment that can be changed. If it's way too much, it's your whole house, you got family, it's a whole thing, I would suggest treating yourself to at least a day or two getaway a month. But initially, just to kind of reset yourself, try and get away for a weekend, get a hotel somewhere, even if it's where you live at. You don't have to go somewhere else. Just find a cheap hotel, maybe book it in advance so you can get it cheaper if you need to, or if money doesn't matter to you, just set aside time to intentionally disconnect and pour back into yourself on that weekend, and go somewhere where you're not in the environment that's triggering you, or that's messy and cluttered and noise and chaos, or whatever's happening. And then you go there, and we can do some other things when we get there, but just really pour back into yourself, relax, order some food, or buy some food and go there, and then you don't have to go anywhere. You just kind of sit there, and we can plan and brain dump out, or just relax and enjoy yourself and sleep because you haven't been sleeping. All right. So we set aside the time to do that. Outside of this, depending on the weather, I'll do more tea, usually when it's cooler and stuff. But I have those for tea. Also, if I make oats and stuff like that, electric kettle is great to have. I have a stove here. I just don't use the propane. I'd rather save the propane, use it for the water heater when I need it to. But there's also electric burner that I have here. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but just showing you what's here in my environment. I got my water there. Boom. This right here, I've just started my new set of broccoli sprouts. I had another one, but that one wasn't really growing. It was starting to smell, so I kind of just tossed that one. But I just got back, so I was able to grow some more of these. I'm going to change the water out on this in a little bit. But here's my broccoli sprouts. Look into those. Very nutritious for you as far as sprouts go. This is like the way to go. You don't necessarily have to grow your own. You can go buy them, but cheaper to grow your own and eat a handful of it every so often whenever you can. Put it on salads, put it on anything really, and then sometimes just to get the nutrients, I'll just eat them and then follow it up with something else that's tastier. But it's kind of like taking a supplement or something. You just take your dosage of it and keep moving. You got it in you. All right. So kind of just do that. Boom, boom, boom. It's nice to look at. Having some greenery in your house or in your environment is always nice to look at. I can look out here at some flowers and stuff. But it's really sunny, so I gotta keep that stuff closed to keep the cool air in. But anyway, quick wins. This is kind of a part of my routine. Is usually, hopefully this stuff is done. So all I'm really doing is re-up my water at this point. When I do my wins in there, I re-up my water, and then I come over here. All right, when I come over here, this is where the magic happens for me. Usually, okay. So I just open up the curtains, getting some natural light in. The sunlight hitting your eyes first thing in the morning is pretty big. And if you are feeling depressed and you're in a dark place, you have to make yourself open those curtains. You have to make yourself take a shower. You have to get up right now if you want change. Okay, or you can keep doing the same thing that you're doing now. But letting that in sends signals to your brain. And I don't want to go there just yet. We're going to get there of why burnout is not what you're feeling and what is it that's happening. But this is what I do. I'll sit here. This is a part of my ritual, my rising rites that I do. And it is, I watch breath work video basically. So I'll sit here, I'll do my breath work. And I created my new product. If you're new here, watch some of my lives. You can go to the live tab on YouTube and watch those. But a part of my new product is going to be these cards right here. Okay. And there's different cards. They'll help you reset your system. And on the back, there are different phases. There are 4 different phases. Okay. And so, just pick a card and then I do the practice that's on the card. At this point, I've done these so many times that I don't need the cards. And that's where you want to get to. There's also a coin, pause, breathe, reset. This you can carry wherever with you. And this just reminds you in the moment, in the present moment is where the magic happens. This is where we can realign and make better decisions and choose how we want to move forward. Because a lot of times we're being rushed. We're not quite sure. We're feeling anxious, whatever it is. So if you have this in your hand, in your pocket, however you want to carry it, you can feel it and remind yourself to pause. To breathe. And that is your reset. Something as little as that can help you and it can change your life. Trust me. Okay. And this is just my business logo on the back side of it. It's something that's tactile for you to touch. And again, just remind yourself when you feel this, that's what you're doing. And what really matters in that moment. because now you've given yourself that space instead of making quick decisions and reacting and, someone else trying to make you choose something, influence you in whatever way. You're able to decide what you want to do. You're able to make a good decision, a clear decision, one that's more intentional, or just calm yourself down again. Because if you're feeling anxious or if you're starting to feel angry, your self-defense mechanisms, the fight, flight, freeze, fawn, are starting to kick in. You can pause and say, whoa, I'm safe. That's really what this is about, is you saying, telling your brain and your body to your brain, I'm safe. Whenever I touch this, I'm safe. Whenever I do this practice, I'm safe. It's okay. I can make a conscious decision that I'm proud of. All right. So that's just a part of the practice. The other side is the planner/journal. This brings the whole reset system together. If you want to learn more about this, I'm going to be talking about it in my lives. Every Wednesday I go live, and you'll see more of my content. So again, subscribe, where I really dive deep into this and I use this myself. And you'll be able to see everything that's inside of this, because it's a system and the framework behind this. And I will continue to talk about it. And so that helps me. That's what I use. That's why I created this, because I didn't see anything like this out there, especially for people like me. So that's what I do. But now that I've practiced those things, I now know what to go to and what helps me depending on the day, and the time and wherever I'm at, because I do that on the go. That's why I have that. But here, I'll play a video, have a little breath work, depending on how much time I have. It could be 2 minutes, it could be 5 minutes, it could be 20 minutes. 20 minutes goes deeper. 20 minutes is when I'm reprogramming my mind, reprogramming the thoughts and the behavior loops. The 2 to 5 minutes is more about like just telling myself I'm safe, breathing to calm myself down if I'm feeling anxious or if I'm starting to feel depressed or sad, those things, trying to process that emotion so it doesn't stay stuck in my body. This is the thing, we have some things that are stuck in our body. It's not who we are. We don't like to, but we just identify with these things, and we kind of been taught that, and that's what we assume is these labels, these words, these things that have happened to us, what is happening to us right now, we identify as them. And if you are that thing, it's hard to change to not be that thing, because now you're attached to it. And attachment's a different conversation. But when you're attached to it, it's hard to let it go, because who are you then after that? And that's a journey to go on, which I talk about on here, the self-discovery journey. To all my seekers out there, if you have questions, you want to continue to learn, you want to continue to grow, you are a seeker, welcome. Okay. So I do my breath work, which I say meditation, but for me, it's breath work into visualization. And that is bringing awareness and focus to whatever it is I want to bring awareness and focus to those words, that good self-talk, to the visualization of the life that I envision for myself or the things that I want to see. Athletes do this all the time. They visualize the plays that they're going to make. They visualize playing the game. Drivers, race car drivers, they visualize the turns. Okay? Astronauts and things like that, they visualize it. They get into simulations, which basically we're creating our own simulation at this point. I mean, do we live in one? We're not going to go there right now. But what it is, it's creating the full experience. You have to feel it. You have to think it at the same time you feel it to ingrain it. Okay? Thoughts, beliefs, habits. But we cannot have the habits and new habits until we get the thoughts and the beliefs in alignment. And that is through feeling, which is where I want to go with this, because we say burnout. We don't necessarily even know what that really means. We know it's something that we feel right now, or that's what happens when you want to quit your job and when you want to make huge change and when you're feeling tired and exhausted and you can't do anything else. That's just your capacity, your capacity for your body physically, capacity mentally, capacity spiritually, emotionally. Okay, it's like a battery. And you've either reached max capacity, pressure's building, it's going to explode, or there is a leak and you cannot even raise your capacity. You feel like you're just drained all the time. Okay, so these are signals. And this is what I want to talk about. It's not who you are. You don't need to identify with these things. We don't need to make a huge drastic change at one time. The little wins help. Okay, but just awareness is key first. Awareness and acknowledging these things, which you've probably been doing because you've been trying to do the work, like you've been doing all the things, the journaling, the therapy, the trying to eat right, the trying to go to the gym, the trying to get up early, all of this trying. And I always say to people, because I learned this early on in the personal development space, is to stop saying try. You're not trying, you're doing it. If you are actively doing, you're doing it. If you're not, you're not. Okay, so you're not trying, you are doing it. You're just a beginner at it. And you're working out the kinks and you're trying to figure out, or you're working on figuring it out. Okay, so I gotta catch myself too. All right, and that's just a part of it, the awareness, because then the awareness helps you to redirect, like I just did. Awareness. I'm working on stopping saying that word, TRE or TRY. And that's just awareness of one, why I don't need to be saying it, what I actually am trying to say. And then I'm redirecting. Now that I'm aware of that, when it comes up and I notice it, I just redirect. I don't beat myself up for saying it. I'm not like doing all these other things. I just say, okay, instead of that word, what are some other words that I can use? And then I practice. That's why we practice these things. I practice using these new words. It's going to feel different. You got to remind yourself initially, because you're a beginner. That's why we practice. Eventually, it's going to be innate. It's going to come up easier for you to say these other words. Even just with gratitude, saying thank you. Just saying the word thank you. You feel like it's no reason, but if you say thank you, eventually it gets easier. At first it feels weird because like, why am I saying thank you? Who am I saying thank you to? Like, what, depending on your beliefs and all, you'll know, but I'm grateful. And then you find things to be grateful for. But that's a practice to start saying that. So then my awareness moves from when those negative things start coming up to, you know what? I'm grateful for blah, 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 blah. I'm an optimist. I choose that. Okay, it's up to you what you want to choose. And so if I say that, now that's my belief, I am going to practice being that now. Because if I wasn't, I would need to practice that. What does that mean? I start to learn that and then implement it. And this is the thing, as we consume all this information, scrolling more information. Oh, it's everything. I can't eat anything. I can't do anything. I'm doing everything wrong. That's what too much information is going to make you feel like. It's too much. It's an overload. Okay? You have enough information. What we need to do now is understand what is happening is that your body is signaling something to you. The thing is, the message that is being sent is static. It's a static signal that's happening. The message has been mistranslated due to past experiences, due to your gut, whatever is happening inside of your body. That's not the best gut microbiome. It's not the best. Your body's been in high cortisol, stress for so long, adrenaline, all these things for so long. And it's been sending that signal through your body for so long. You're numb to a lot of this now. Like literally a drug addict that has taken drugs for so long, they keep chasing that high and they're not getting it. They're numb. Their neurons have literally basically just numbed out. They're not working there. Some of them have lost the ability for some of these things because they've been pushing so hard in this area. They've been using something for so long that has numbed those senses, your ability to even understand and feel these things. And that is what's happening to us. I mean, sugar's a drug, okay? Scrolling's a drug. These things are like, call it what it is. And this is the thing, is we're not calling it what it is. All right. And so with this awareness and understanding, and now what do we do with it? Okay. Understand it's a signal. That's it. It's not who you are. It's what's happening in your field. We're electromagnetic beings. We have a field around us. Some call it the aura. Some, you can feel the energy when you walk into the room, right? You can feel when tension's there. But we don't know what that is. Some say gut feeling and all that, but it's deeper than just the gut. Yes, it is the gut. What are you eating? What are you feeding that gut? Okay, it's going to send a signal. But, we talk about foggy mindedness and all this. But outside of that is literally the energy field around you is interacting with everything else around you, and you're feeling those things. We're picking up on this. Our body's sensing that. And then we're sending the signals up to our mind. And this is subconscious. This is subconscious because what is the story that we've told ourselves, that we were told, and then at a certain point we've been telling ourselves too because of our experiences, not to say that it's not valid, but this is just what's happening. Okay, there's a story in between that's translating the signal. When I feel this, that means this, right? And so if the story's old, if it's skewed like a lens, if the lens is cloudy, foggy, got smudges on it because of life just happens and you're just on the go, it's all smudgy like my glasses, okay? If I don't clean it, it's gonna be foggy and I'll be like, why is it so foggy in this room? Is there smoke in here? Oh my God, is there smoke? Something, there's fire. And that's really not, it's just fog on my lens, like smearing fingerprints on my lens, you know? But this is true, this is what is happening, okay? And so we need to cleanse the lens. We need to look at the story and edit the story, write a new story, okay? Change the chapters, character development, the plot thickens, the plot changes, okay? We get to choose that. We co-create in that way. You can't give it all up to just God, your creator, if you don't believe in any of that, just to the world and everything else around you being a victim, okay? You have to take responsibility, accountability, and whatever is in your power. And again, if your capacity has reached its max, or you can't even get a capacity because you have a leak, that's going to be hard because you feel overwhelmed at that point, right? And it's just it feels like too much, right? This is why we need to stop consuming more. We need to clean our environment because that takes away from what's taking the capacity, what's taking space, all right? But going back to the understanding of what is being translated, it's the signal is staticky. Okay, when you're trying to tune into a radio station, and I was a little old for some people, but you got to keep trying to tune to hit the right signal to hear a clear signal, to hear the music clear. Otherwise, it's staticky. You're picking up other signals. If that's what's happening in your body, you're not getting the real signal. You're not getting what's really happening. And then your mind is then going to tell your body, okay, if this is happening, this is what we do. This is subconscious. You got to get out of your logical mind. You're not going to think yourself out of it. And yes, journaling helps. Yes, therapies help. Different modalities of therapies. I'm not saying that they don't. There are stages and phases to this. This is just a video to help understand what's happening, okay? And when your brain sends those signals back down to your body, it creates chemicals, which will create hormones, which is then going to skin rashes, disease, okay, insomnia, like what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be unregulated. You're not going to be in sync, misaligned. Okay, so if we want to come back into alignment with who we truly are, so our body can regenerate itself, so that we are in the rhythm of who we are, because everybody's different. Okay, that's going to take time. Again, this is just a video of awareness at this point. Okay, but you have to be able to tune into the right signal, the right frequency. You have to make sure that the message is clear. And you also have to understand what is the story that's translating the message. Like Morse code. You can create your own Morse code if you want. That's, create your own language type of a thing. But it is what is translating the message being sent to your brain. Because your body does send a message up, and then your mind sends a message back down on what to do, what hormones to create, what reactions to happen in the body based off of what is being sent up from our body. And it's just a process that happens. So this is a part of reprogramming, part of unlearning and relearning. Okay, we're relearning right now. Good job, because you're here with me. All right, but I say all that to say, what's the story we're telling ourselves? Again, that self-talk that's coming up. It's not who you are. It's just the story you've been telling yourself. It's a loop we're stuck in. We need to break the loop, break the pattern. But we do that by tracking. We do that by bringing awareness and understanding, and also detaching, because you are not those things. It's just what's happening in your body and in your field. Your body's trying to keep you safe. That's it. That's all the body does. We're literally just wires hooked to muscles and tissues and bones and skin that's moving around. And the brain is sending signals down, the body's sending the signals up from sensory receptors, because we're sensing this stuff, not just physically. Physically, yes, because we're touching this, or we think we're touching it. But we're also sensing it energetically around us. And we need to understand this, because these things are happening to us. They've been tested. Like, I'm not going to go there. Okay. Stay on track. Okay. We pick up these senses in our environment, in our field. And it's not about fear. This is about awareness, like I said, because then you can empower yourself. And that's all I'm about, is empowerment and equipping you with the tools. Okay. So we're not talking about fear. Understand that there is a reason why. And that's because you can hold power. All right. It's what we do with it at that point too. So we'll get there eventually. But right now you need to understand about what you're picking up, what you're sensing. This body is, and it's sending it to the brain, not even the mind. We don't even comprehend the mind, but we're starting to comprehend some things here. Okay. And then the brain sends signals back down on how to operate, how to move when these things happen. Well, we need to train ourselves. And when you train as an athlete, when you train in anything, as an actor or anything, you practice. You have to practice a script. You have to practice movements. You have to go learn how someone else who's been through that, how do they act? What do they do? How do they think? You know, all of the layers to it, to be a really good actor, to be a really good athlete, to be a really good mastery level at any skill. Okay. And you've done that probably in your job. You've done that as a mom, a wife, whatever role it is that you've been playing. But for you, you need to learn who you are, your rhythm. We do that through pausing. This pause, if you feel stuck right now, it's a sacred pause. I call it that. Okay. This is where we can gain alignment, because the pause is awareness, understanding, deciding the story we will tell, deciding, are we going to clean the lens or not? Okay. And then choosing those small wins. Aligning is when we've chosen that, we've decided. Now we're going to start to move in that. And this is where we practice, because it takes practice. This is consistency in the areas that are in alignment. And it's going to take a while, because you have to think, you've been programmed for how long? You've been thinking this way for how long? It's going to take a while. Doesn't mean it needs to take the same amount of time, but it takes awareness and focus and concentration in an area. This is why breathwork helps me. I was going there. This is why breathwork helps, because that puts you into a state. It puts your body into a state of being, which means in the present moment, what is my body, the rhythm that my body has. When I do breath work, I can slow my heart rate, or I can speed it up depending on who you are and what you're trying to do. I can then tell my body I'm safe at that point. And when I do that, I can reprogram my mind. I can tell it what I want it to tell. And the subconscious mind, this is what they do with you with social media. Subconsciously, the flashing of the phones, the TVs, the music, the advertisement. This is what's happening anyway. So you're doing this yourself, and we're choosing that, what we want. Now we're building better self-trust, because we're being consistent, because we're seeing change. Those little wins are helping us. We can trust ourselves. We're loving more on ourselves, because we're treating ourselves right, because we're taking the time and prioritizing the time to have the small wins, to regulate our breath, to come back to center in the moment, because we deserve that. We should treat ourselves right first. Nobody else needs to, because we're doing it. And yes, it helps others, but first you need to pour into yourself to be able to receive truly from others. All right. And then from there, we can restore our energy. We can plug those leaks. We can release the pressure. And then we can go out and fully show up in whatever the roles are that we're playing. Whatever it is, however we want to show up, we can affect the community at that point. But it starts at home first, within you. So I say all that to say, successful women, you've been working hard. You're the strong friend. You're the one that's always showing up. You do, go. But now you need to be. You need to prioritize being, which means you need to learn who you are. That's the thing. You might not even know who you are, because you've always been doing what others have said, what others usually do, trying to fit the mold. You don't fit it. Okay. Things have been set up. And we're questioning things now, probably. And if not, you just feel numb. You're just feeling these things. And that's what it is feelings. And we need to understand what these feelings are that are coming up. This is 3 different modalities of therapy. We can process these out of our body. We need to move that energy, that chi, okay? Because this is our field, so you can't see some of the stuff that's happening, but it is affecting it. If there's a block in an area, that creates a backlog of information. It creates storage. The body holds the memory, right? Or holds the story, the trauma, it's stuck in an area, and we need to release that. And that's a process. So give yourself grace. In the meantime, we use these small wins to keep going, to show ourselves it is working, to show ourselves that we do care, pouring back into ourselves, that we do matter. Okay? So we're just practicing these things. So I hope you stick around with me. We're going to dive deeper into all of this on this channel. And I have been, so you can go back and watch some older videos too. Join me every Wednesday. I live stream. I'll put a post on my community tab of what time, because sometimes it changes. I'm on Eastern Standard Time right now. So usually it's between like 12 and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want, you can follow me on all social media. The other one that I really am more active on is TikTok. So sometimes I'll jump on live on there. I just started on Twitch, kind of hopping on there. So if you're on there, find me. Same thing, Alchamentor everywhere. But hopefully something in this video has settled with you, has helped you understand what is happening better, maybe even relieve some of that pressure, and know that you are doing the work if you're watching this video, especially if you stuck around this long. You are doing the work. Give yourself grace. Pause. Breathe. Understand that you are enough as you are. You don't need to do anything else. We don't need to get anything else. And even that understanding is a process. That's building that self-worth without having anything. Who are you? Okay? You are enough as you are. That smile, the hugs you give, the encouragement you give, being there for someone else, that's beautiful, but you also have to pour into yourself. So do that for yourself. We can hug ourselves. Trust me, I do this. I literally do this. I also give myself high fives. Usually in the mirror is nice. Okay? Because this never means anything negative unless you did it unwillingly, which is not okay. You need to set some boundaries. Okay? Or you practice that. That's okay. You understand now, like, let's not do it anymore. I'll start to work on saying no and set some boundaries. But usually this means something good. Hugging yourself if you have no one else to hug you. But even just hugging yourself to show yourself love. Tell your body thank you for working and still working and showing up for you every day, even if you may not treat it so well in the past with foods and things and substances and activities. But we will move forward and we will choose better decisions. We'll take it one day at a time. But yeah, hopefully you found something in this video that resonated with you, with what it is that you need to hear in this moment. Stick around, because I got some great things coming. Like I said, my product I'm working on, or not working on it, it's completed. If you would like the reset system, go ahead and comment reset in the comments, and I will contact you and get you set up with one of these. It's only for those who are going to use it. If you will use it, I will get you one of those, because you're going to be tracking your progress. So if you're really going to track your progress, you want to see if this works, comment reset in the comments, and I will reach out to you and get you one of these. So thank you for joining me. As always, if you're new here, I always pause, and we're going to breathe in slowly through the nose and slowly breathe out through the mouth, as if we were blowing out a candle or blowing through a straw. We don't need to rush anywhere. Everything will be where it is and where it needs to be when you're done. But we do this slowly. This tells our body we're safe. It's okay. And from here, we can choose to move forward, whichever way we want to move forward. We can keep scrolling, keep watching videos. We can get up, open up the curtains, get some sunlight, take a shower, take a bath with some salt, and whatever it is for you. Drink some water, stay hydrated out there. Continue to shine on, and even if you feel like your light is a little dim right now, it's still there. It's still there. The sun is always shining, even though there's clouds. Just gives a little bit of time. Clouds will clear, or clear that fog, clean that lens, rewrite our story, or just change the story and choose where we're going to go next. All right? So continue to shine on. Continue to stay strong out there. You are needed. You are worth it. Okay, put a smile on your face. Even if you feel like you have nothing to smile for, it doesn't matter. You're telling your body and your mind that something is good. Something good's coming, something good is happening. And even if that's just another breath, that is beautiful. Not many people have that. A lot of people have not made it this far, but you have. Again, you are needed. So stick around, continue to shine on. All right, y'all, take care.